This is a video on Chapter 14, Dialogue 1 and the two grammar points that are in the textbook. The first grammar point that we're going to be talking about is ne and how it indicates that an action is in progress. Using ne at the end of a sentence indicates that the action suggested by the verb is in progress, so it's an action that is currently happening. Therefore, ne is similar to 在. However, the difference is that 在 is put before the verb in the sentence and not at the end of the sentence like how ne is. Now consider this. In English, we say that you can do the act of write, so you can write something. But if you add the ing and you say that you are writing something, then that means that you are currently in the act of writing something. You're currently in the act of write, which is writing. And that is what ne is in Chinese. Ne sort of adds that ing. So you can say 你写什么呢? What are you writing? If you didn't have ne, then the translation would sort of be what are you write, which doesn't really make sense. So if you wanted to say what are you writing, you would have to add the ne, which basically adds that ing. So the second example, 你找什么呢? Ne here is the ing in looking. So what are you looking for? Ne can also be used together with 在. These two examples are just the same exact sentences from the previous slide. I have just modified them and added the 在. The first example, 你在写什么呢? What are you writing? The second example, 你在找什么呢? What are you looking for? Since 在 can indicate an action in progress by itself, ne can be omitted in these specific sentences. So instead of 你在写什么呢 or 你在找什么呢, you can just say 你在写什么 or 你在找什么, and they all mean the exact same thing. What are you writing for? What are you looking for? You can put 正 before 在 to say 正在 to even further emphasize that the action is ongoing and in progress. So for example, 她正在做功课呢. She is right in the middle of doing homework. Or example 2, 别去找他，他正在睡觉呢. Don't go looking for him. He's in the middle of sleeping at the moment. So if you sort of put all the things that I've said for this grammar point together, you can say, for example 1, you can say 他正在做功课呢. 他在做功课呢. 他在做功课 or 他做功课呢. And they all mean that she is in the middle of doing homework and that the act of doing homework for her is currently in progress. The second grammar point in Chapter 14, Dialogue 1 is the verbal phrases and subject-predicate phrases that can be used as attributives. So in Chinese, attributives, often followed by the particle de, always appear before what they modify. Attributives can be verbs, verbal phrases, and subject-predicate phrases. Basically, what this is saying is that what you want to say as a description should come before what you are describing. So adjective, noun, adjective, the noun. So for this, you can say 吃的东西. What you are talking about is the 东西, the things. And what you're saying about it is that it is edible, that you can chew it, basically. So you say 吃的东西, things to eat. Or 穿的衣服. What you're talking about is the 衣服, the clothes. And what you're saying about it is that it is 穿的, that it is wearable clothes, that it is clothes that is worn. The second example, verbal phrases. You can say 新买的饭卡. What you're talking about here is the 饭卡, which is the meal card. And what you're saying about it, how you're describing it, is that it is 新买的. It is newly bought. It is a newly bought meal card. You can say 昨天来的同学. What you're talking about is the 同学, the classmate. And what you're saying about them is that they are 昨天来的. They are the classmate that came yesterday. For subject predicate phrases, you can say 请你跳舞的那个人. What you're talking about is 那个人, that person, that person. And how you're describing them is that they are 请你跳舞的那个人. They are that person who asked you to dance. Basically, for this grammar structure, what you want to remember is that you put the description before the subject, but you should also put the in between. So it's description plus the plus whatever you're talking about, the subject. This was a video on Chapter 14, Dialogue 1, and the 2 grammar points that they had. I hope that my explanation in this video helped you understand a little bit better how you could use these in your language use.